Welcome to another edition of Fourth and Pain, the only football and pro wrestling show to be hosted by an NFL player, the weight loss champion over there, Redskins defensive end Adam Carriker.
You're listening to Fourth and Pain, and you will never, ever be the same again.
Digging the fact that you dug out some Y2J for the masses today.
Love you some Jericho.
You know I do, and I also love it when people give us a follow at Fourth and Pain. There you will find brand new shows each weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern. Either I, Chuck Carroll, will tweet them out, or Adam Carriker94 on Twitter. That's your Twitter handle. You'll be tweeting them out as well. But Fourth and Pain, new shows, 1 p.m. Eastern every single weekday. Adam, football segment to kick things off. College football right around the corner. Very excited about that. The season is upon us, so we're going to be talking about our top 3 Heisman contenders. I know that you have some names. I have some as well. So coming up in about 5 minutes, we'll be unveiling those. But I wanted to start on the pro side of things right here in Washington. Of course, the regular football season for the NFL also kicking off very soon. And despite all the controversy, should it be Rex, should it be Pat White for the Redskins' third quarterback, the fact of the matter is the regular season is here, so we're focusing on Robert Griffin III and then Alfred Morris, 2 rookies who took the league, not just Washington, by storm last year. And my question to you, Adam, is this: can they match their production totals as sophomores?
Well, you were looking up some of their stats beforehand. Give me some of their stats. What were they able to accomplish last year?
All right, RG3, Offensive Rookie of the Year, 3,200 passing yards. That's 8.1 yards per pass, 20 touchdowns to just 5 interceptions, and a whopping 102.4 passer rating as a rookie. Oh, and by the way, he's shifty on the ground, 120 carries, 8 yards per carry, 815 yards on the ground with 7 touchdowns. And here's
I predict he will not win Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Way to go out on a limb. Here's the staggering part to me. Of those carries, 1 out of every 3 was a first down conversion. The dude can move the sticks. And then Alfred, real quick, 1,613 yards on the ground on 335 attempts, 4.8, almost 5 yards a carry, 13 touchdowns to just 4 fumbles. The guy has strong hands.
When it comes to Robert, the expectation is so far is that he'll play week 1 and he'll be ready to go. My expectation is that it's interesting because sometimes guys still go through a sophomore slump. Sometimes guys get a lot better because they're more familiar with their surroundings, the offense, just being in the NFL a second year. I see Robert, he's not going to digress whatsoever. I see him progressing. I see him getting better. To do what he did last year, especially what actually stands out to me, the running stats, the throwing is all impressive, is the interceptions, the way he took care of the football. I mean, he was up there with Tom Brady and the best quarterbacks in the league as far as taking care of the football. That's the #1 stat in my eyes, not turning the ball over. I believe he can duplicate what he did last year, if not improve and get a little bit better. As far as Alfred goes, I might surprise you a little bit. I don't think he's going to do what he did last year. I don't think he's going to, because he set the single season rushing record for the Redskins. And it's not that he can't do it, it's that he doesn't have to do it, because last year Alfred carried the load. Alfred was the majority of all of our carries from the backfield. This year we got a guy back. We got a guy who's healthy. We got a guy who's looking good in the preseason, Mr. Roy Halou. Halou's going to take some of that load off of Alfred. So it's not that he can't. I think it's that he won't, because Halou's going to help him out. What say you, Mr. Carroll?
You know what? I'd love to stir up controversy here. I'd love to say you're absolutely wrong, and Alfred, our 4-time Fourth and Pain champion last year, will be able to match those totals and surpass them. But you hit the nail on the head. The fact of the matter is you have a healthy backfield. You have Roy Halou, who has looked very good this preseason, and it's hard to envision a scenario where Alfred won't be taken out in those third down situations, especially third and long, where Roy is a real asset with his hands. Let's not forget that Roy is one of the better pass-catching running backs in the league. He's proven that already again this preseason. So,
well, thanks to John Beck, he has the single, what is it, the single single game receptions record with 14 receptions in one game.
Mr.
John Beck, Mr. Checkdown.
Nice guy, but did love to throw it to the running backs, didn't he? But the bottom line is, even the fact that the matter that it was on checkdown, his hands are definitely among the more reliable in the league. So therefore, you're not always going to be in a situation where it's 3rd and short. So Roy's going to get those looks, even though Robert is still under center.
Well, remember, Alfred was 2nd in the entire NFL last year to Adrian Peterson in rushing. Like I said before, he holds a single-season rushing record in Redskins history. My question to you is, getting back to Robert, do you think he'll do what he did last year? And do you think that we will run, I'll let you answer this, we will run that spread option as much as we did last year, because that's going to impact a lot of those ground statistics?
Yes and yes. When the curtain is unveiled on the regular season, I think that all will be forgotten about all of this drama leading up to September, up to the Monday night kickoff against the Philadelphia Eagles. I would be shocked if Robert wasn't his old self. He's healed like a friggin' Superman, and this is a guy that's been chomping at the bit. This is a true competitor, a guy that wants to come out and play, and the fact that he's been back in practice now doing the 11-on-11 things, hasn't had a setback, looked really, really, really sharp. I think that he's going to raise eyebrows and continue to prove that he is that elite quarterback in the National Football League. I think that he's certainly going to have that opportunity to match his totals as a rookie. I think that he definitely has a better chance to do so than Alfred Morris. The key, though, is whether or not he's going to be able to stay healthy. That is the ultimate barometer. If he can, then absolutely he will.
I agree with you. He played, 15 games last year. I think he's going to be smart. I think he learned a lot from last year. I think he's going to be healthy. Well, what's your prediction on that?
I think that you're going to see maybe 14 games this year. It's just with his style of play. I mean, he's a target. It's just a matter of, I don't think that he's going to want to pull things back so much. I think that the competitor in him is going to make him take off, no matter how many times he says you're going to see a new Robert Griffin III in 2013. The fact of the matter is, you can't change who a person is, and who he is the competitor who's going to move the change no matter what the cost. But let's turn from the pros to college. We have about 3.5 minutes to do this, so let's do it quickly. College football season is here. Adam, give me your top 3 Heisman contenders right now on 4th and Pain.
Well, I came up with 7 names. I'll just run through the first 4, and then I'll talk about my main 3. The first one is Aaron Murray. This segment actually sparked because Aaron Murray was rated the #1 quarterback in the SEC in the preseason, not Johnny Manziel. Taylor Martinez, a Nebraska quarterback, reminds me a lot of Eric Crouch, former Heisman winner. A.J. McCarron, everybody thinks Bama's going to win the title. Best player on the best team always wins the Heisman. Braxton Miller, underrated, under the radar somehow. Ohio State's a national title contender. He led that team last year to an undefeated season. My top 3, Johnny Manziel. I don't think he's going to win it back-to-back. It's extremely hard to do, but I think he'll be one of the finalists. My 2 finalists, oddly enough, are the quarterbacks from the 2 teams in my national championship game. Marcus Mariota from Oregon and that ridiculously explosive offense, probably the best in the nation. And you got Teddy Bridgewater. I'm looking up potential Heisman candidates before this segment. He's not even on this list of about 20 names they got. The guy is projected to go #1 overall in the draft next year. I don't understand this. I think Louisville goes undefeated, and I think he takes home the Heisman Trophy and goes into the NFL #1 overall pick.
That's interesting. The only guy that I have on my list that matches yours is Johnny Manziel, and out of my 3, he is 3rd on there. I don't think that we're going to see a back-to-back Heisman winner. I think that Archie Griffin has that one on lock. He did it with Ohio State in 74 and 75. My top 2 guys, Jadeveon Clowney, defensive end out of South Carolina. This guy is a man-child. He's going to dominate. He is my #1 overall pick. But here's a name that I'm surprised that you didn't mention is A.J. McCarron, the senior quarterback from Alabama. You can't tell me. This is one of the top programs in the country, and you can't tell me if he guides Alabama to a back-to-back championship like so many people predict that he will, that he's not going to be among the Heisman contenders. How could he be off of your list, man?
Well, he is on my list. He was #6. Remember those first 4 names I dropped?
I'm only concerned with the top 3.
But our top 3s aren't going to match. You're wrong 90% of the time. The fact is, Alabama, everyone expects them to win the national title. Alabama's not going to win the national title, and this guy is not. He's a really good player. I don't think without his team being in that title game, he's got a shot at the Heisman Trophy. That's why he's on the top 7, but not the top 3.
Interesting point. We'll see how it goes. But the bottom line, both you and I agree, not going to be back-to-back for Johnny Football. Tweet us your top 3 Heisman predictions at Fourth and Pain. Would certainly love to see them. But with that, we got to take ourselves a little break. Don't go anywhere. This is Fourth and Pain. We will be right back.
Adam Carricker, Redskins defensive end number 94, largest arms on the D-line, here with your pumping iron tip of the week, weight room etiquette. True story that happened to me this past week in the weight room. I'm in the weight room doing dumbbell shoulder press with about 120, 125-pound dumbbells, and I'm dropping them on the floor because I have no one to spot me. First thing, don't drop dumbbells on the floor unless you have no spotter. Second thing, if you've got a problem with somebody doing a lift and you don't like them dropping the weights on the floor like this jabroni did that came over and got in my face, yelling at me about dropping the weights, offer to give somebody a spot. First of all, I got my headphones in. Don't talk to me while I got my headphones in. Second of all, if you've got a problem, offer to give someone a spot. Offer to help them out. I about turned those dumbbells sideways and stuffed them straight up his 4 eyes is what I about did. Be respectful, be classy, and be helpful. Don't be a jerk in the weight room. And remember, you can either throw in the towel or use it to wipe the sweat from your face. You're welcome.